Alright, so it looks like the live is up. So I guess I'm in a NATO mood these days because the other day I was doing a Spanish F-18 mission. Since one of the last comments I got was, I believe, from a Turkish viewer, so figured I'd go for some Turkish F-16 fun tonight. And so we'll be taking off from Gaziantep there, and we're going to go shoot some targets in that area here, where I have a ZSU-23, which has of course the radar and the AAA guns that can be dangerous, and I think there's a BTR as well in the area. And those two I'll try to shoot with Mavericks because they're the most dangerous to my plane. And then there's a column of trucks that I will try to take out with rockets. I think there's a helicopter flying around, so maybe I'll try to engage it with Sidewinders if I spot it. And that's it. We're going to shoot, fly back, land. We'll see how that goes. I watched a video by Bogey Dope on how to shoot the Mavericks in Viz mode, and I thought that was kind of interesting, so maybe I'll post a link in my video description if you're interested in how you can do that. And so let's go try this. Oh, something looks like it's unplugged. Okay, there we go. Good. Yeah, I played around with my joystick a little bit earlier, so maybe that's why I saw it as unplugged. Alright, so hit the fly button here. So there. Can show you the plane, what it looks like. Nice Turkish F-16. I've got two Mavericks, two rocket pods, two Sidewinders on the outside pylons. So I'm just going to start with the air-to-ground here with powering on my Mavericks, then putting my rockets in pairs. For the Mavericks, I'm going to use this area here where there's nothing to go to the weapons page, and although it's not timed out yet, I'm going to hit the FOV, next station, FOV. Make sure it's in VIS mode. Then we can go back to the original station. And so that takes care of my air-to-ground right now. I didn't bring a targeting pod because I will be doing this visually. So now we can just get the rest of our systems going. Kind of like going on the bypass here. I'm going to put the lights on steady for now, and then after takeoff we'll turn them off. I don't have any cheek power to turn on. For air-to-air, maybe I can put it on bore. There we go. So it's nice to have a plane all nice and set up before you go. You can see the ground crew guys here seem to have done all the work they needed to do. I'm going to turn my nose wheel steering on, as you can see here, and we'll get ready to taxi. The Maverick takes a little while to load up and get to the correct temperature to operate, and since we're not flying very, very far, I'm going to taxi very slowly to give it time to get ready before we get to the target. Oops. Enjoying the scenery too much. I think I had put like a helicopter. Yeah, there it is. There's a patrolling helicopter nearby. Just to add a little bit of life to the mission. As we saw on the map earlier, the enemy we'll probably have a helicopter patrolling as well. What I want to do is to surprise the ZSU so that they don't really get a chance to shoot at me, and then I can get my Maverick on them, get the other Maverick on the BTR, and then I'll have free reign more or less to shoot on the other vehicles. Now this is one of the funny things I like to do when I taxi, is to look at the sidewinders wiggle. It's a nice little touch. The F5 does it even more than that. But, you know, little bumps in the runways and the taxiways. It's not always perfect surfaces, so the plane shakes. It does have some flex to it. When you take hard turns in the F-16, you can actually see the wings flexing, so it is pretty neat to see. It's nicely modeled in the sim. What I'll do here is I'll switch to air to ground, and as you can see, my Maverick camera seems to be up. And so just before I take off, I want to show you in the HUD here, up top, there's that square box. And I'm going to use that to target where I want to shoot the Maverick, roughly. And then what I'll do is I will hit the TMUS switch forward to lock, and then I'll look right down here and I'll be able to adjust and lock again with the Maverick's camera. And as you can see, since I had already hit the FOV, I'm not in the far away view like this, where it makes it very difficult to target at a distance. They're already zoomed in. And if I click the next station, it's also zoomed in. So I have that pretty much preset like this. Works pretty well. So when you're diving towards an enemy target, you don't want to spend too much time wondering if your weapons were set up properly. So now we know it's pretty much well set up. And there we go. So now we're gonna turn lights off and we'll start heading for our waypoints.
Altitude. Altitude.
Since we want to surprise the enemy, we're gonna fly fairly low.
Altitude. Altitude.
Check my pedals. Now we're good.
Altitude. Altitude.
So now we've got a good speed. We're almost already at our first waypoint. Gonna turn on the helmet display. There we go. Got our waypoint there. We can do a pop-up at the waypoint. And then we'll switch to the next waypoint, and I've set the waypoints right on the ZSU, the next waypoint. And so we can already see an indication in the distance of some fires and then some vehicles on a road. So I'm going to go air to ground. I'm going to get my bore sight as close as I can to the area that I want to shoot at, which is that diamond there. So let's do that. Now I've set it up close to the ground. I can see the target I want to hit. It's right there. I've got a good lock. Rifle. And so we're going to move away. Drop a few countermeasures. There we go. Let's look at that missile. See if it does what we want it to do. Just gonna get back in the cockpit, make sure I don't crash. And then we can see here, oh, the missile's going right over the helicopter. But we can see that it seems like it's going towards the ZSU, and boom. So with that, my AAA threat has been taken care of. So now I can turn around. I'll switch to the next waypoint I had. Waypoint 3 was set right on the BTR. It's very close to the other target that we've hit. You can see the smoke there in the distance, and we can even see the smoke of the target we destroyed. So we got this. Let's get our thing there. If I bring my missile there,
altitude.
having a hard time locking. I think I forgot one of the steps, which was to reset things. Yeah, there we go. Now I've got my bore sight again. I'll just drop some countermeasures. We'll just reposition ourselves for another attack run. So we're already 5 miles away. So let's turn around. There we go. It should give us a little bit better firing solution like this. There we go. Let's go look in here. Makes it a bit easier to lock the target. I say a bit easier, but not that much. There we go. Got a lock. Rifle. Let's see what it does. Boom. Okay, we got it. I can hear other AAA shooting at me. Sounds like those S-60s, so I'll try to line up with a column of trucks. So what we'll do now is we're gonna go to our SMS page, inventory, switch to the rockets. Drop some countermeasures again. We're still getting shot at by AAA. And we're gonna go shoot a few rockets on those trucks. There they are. So you've got like 2 lines of them, so I'll take the biggest one at the beginning there. Try to surprise them. So we've got a few good hits there, I think. Seems pretty good.
Altitude.
So the rest of the trucks look like they've dispersed, so let's shoot some rockets there.
Altitude. Altitude.
That wasn't too great. Still have 16 rockets. We'll try to get rid of the rockets, and then we'll go look for the helicopter.
Altitude. Altitude.
We've got a few good hits there.
Caution. Caution.
So that's our caution to tell us that we can go back to Cat 1 because we've gotten rid of all our air-to-ground ordnance. In fact, as you can see here, we've got the internal pylons with the empty rocket pods. We could actually jettison those since they're just dead weight. There we go. Bye-bye dead weight. And now I'm going to get out of air-to-ground and go into air-to-air mode. We're going to look if we can spot that helicopter. It's not really a threat, but if it decides that it wants to harm friendlies, it won't be fun, so let's see if we can find it.
Altitude. Altitude.
Got the radar looking for it, but I'm also gonna look for it with my eyes. Jinking up and down a little bit so that the AAA won't damage me.
Altitude. Altitude.
Oh, I got like an indication of something here. There he is. Okay. So I'll try to keep him in visual and get behind him. Fox 2. Of course he's gonna drop gazillion flares.
Pull up.
Got him. Boom. Okay. So that gets rid of that threat as well. Now we're getting shot at by AAA, so let's get out of here quick.
Cat flare. Cat flare.
if you'll be able to see in the live those red tracers that went by my cockpit, but that's my cue to get out of here.
Cap flare. Cap flare. Cap flare.
So we'll switch back to nav mode. We're gonna go to waypoint 4, which is our final. And we'll head there, nap at the earth, because it's more fun.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
So wow, we're almost supersonic,
Pull up.
getting out of the target area and heading back to base. Gotta be careful with those power lines. Sometimes I feel like a cowboy and I fly underneath them, but maybe not today. Can fly between the trees like that though.
Altitude. Altitude.
Have a little victory roll. Then if we look here on the HSI, we can see my flight plan. I'm heading there. This is where I'm going to land. So if we look just over our shoulder here, look, that's our airfield. We've got the runway right there. So I'm going to cut my flight plan a little short. As we turn, we're getting closer to the line for being lined up with the runway. We're still pretty fast. I'll get the air brakes out.
Altitude. Altitude.
Here I'm doing those sharp turns to bleed speed. We're gonna get the gear down. Gonna get one final line up with the runway right there in front of us. Gonna bring our flight path marker within the bracket. Can raise the seat a little bit to see a bit better. At this point I'm going to get my feet on the pedals for the rudders. You can test them going left and right. It seems to work. See, my plane is in a nice configuration for landing. Maybe I could be nice with the tower and turn my lights on and announce myself.
Springfield, 1-1. Abort inbound, resuming mission.
Oh, I thought I was asking for permission to land, but I guess that didn't work. Or maybe it did. Touchdown. That part I prefer to do in the cockpit because, as you can see, it doesn't take too much to veer off. Pulling on the stick to help with aerodynamic braking. We're below 70. I'm going to turn on my nose wheel steering. Makes it a bit easier to control the plane at that lower speed. And then we'll be getting ready to go right back to where we started. Yes, we will taxi to parking area. I'm a bit fast. I'm not staying on my taxi lines here. Let's try to go put the plane almost where we took it. I was on that yellow line when I took it, so I'll go a little bit wide. Try not to collide with the airport objects here. I believe this is pretty much where we started. Seems to look pretty decent. So let's get these air brakes in. Let's put the parking brake on. And then ask the ground crew to put on the wheel chucks.
Place the wheel chucks. Copy. Wheel chucks are now in place.
And now we can see the wheel chucks are in place. So now we've got a nice clean airplane. We're going to take a nice little screenshot, maybe remove this. And then we'll use our lazy shutdown. So that went pretty well. Now we'll see the canopy opening. And that concludes that part. Let's go check F10 real quick. See what we have left here. We just have a few trucks. Let's hit F7. So we've got this guy who ran away. But if we look at the rest of the column here, The main column is completely destroyed. This truck here, there's not much left to it. And so yeah, we did a pretty good job. This is the BTR-80 that we got with the Maverick. There's a dead soldier next to it. And this here is our ZSU-23 that we got also with the Maverick. And so that threat is gone. And somewhere, I don't know if we can still spot the fire, but we shot down a helicopter around the area here. I guess the fire is out for that. So yeah, that was fun. Hope you enjoyed. Oh, we can hear our friendly helicopter flying around. Where is it? Is it behind the hill there? Maybe we can't see it. It sounded like it was in that area. Oh no, it's here. I don't know if you'll be able to spot it, but it's right here. It's moving away towards the hills. Now the contrast might help you see it a bit. All right. Cool Hand out. Hope you enjoyed.